You can integrate the USB outputs of the Yamaha MODX or montage. This means that you can output not only the stereo signal from the MODX, but also multiple sounds through different outputs. Of course, you can do all of this not only with gigperformer, I'm just using it as an example now. You can also do this with MainStage. You can do it with any DAW. I'm going to show you this on a Mac. There are one or two differences compared to Windows, which I will mention, but I won't be showing it on Windows. And if you like the video, I would appreciate a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so. There are always exciting new videos, sometimes weekly, sometimes daily, and sometimes even hourly. There's definitely always something exciting for keyboardists, and if you want to support the channel, I would be thrilled with a membership subscription, because then I can do much more than I already do. Until next time. The very first thing we need to do is, we now have gigperformer with a regular audio interface here. First, we will create a new main device on Mac. I would use my Fireface. Here now. Or rather, not first. I would use the MODX here first because it simply has fewer channels. That makes the whole thing a bit easier later on. And the Fireface, because that's my regular audio interface. I also chose a completely new template here, so that you can see it well. Although now I'm not sure, well, we'll do it the other way around. Please excuse me. We will now first take the Fireface and then the MODX, and let's take a look at the list here. The output channels up to where they go, so up to 30, is the Fireface. And then comes the MODX here with the different channels, so we've already accomplished that. Now we go to wiring, and then we see audio out MacBook Pro, which I don't want, of course. So now I go to options, to audio setup, and select my new output device here. And that is the Fireface here. Why the Fireface? Because basically I only output my main signal through the Fireface. I don't want to play back through the MODX. So I select the Fireface here now. You also have to be careful. If you deselect all these channels here, the channel assignment in gigperformer will also shift. But we can talk about that again. And up here I will now select a new main device. I could have named it differently. And here you can now see all the channels through interface, the RME, and right after that here the outputs from the MODX. Now I go to reply, I leave everything else as it is. So, and now you see the audio in here. I would do the following here first. I would now add a mixer here as well. I'll just take an 8-channel mixer. I think we don't need more. I would just connect them straight through here, the first two. And then we need to go here to... Exactly, this is USB main. And these are then USB 1, USB 2, 3, and 4. I'll leave both open now. Something should come through here, because the MODX is currently connected to my Fireface hangs. But nothing is coming through. Then I must have done something wrong somewhere. But what you have seen now is that the level here via USB DOS comes through the USB main. And that's because if we look at the MODX now, we go to utility, then to audio in. And then we see that the main signal goes out through the main LR and also through the main LR USB out. That means I now have the signal both at the jack outputs at the back and here at my USB out. So that's something that's standard for now. I can't change that at the moment. If I now go into my performance, for example, I can go to the single timbre, go to edit, and then go to effect. And then I can change the part output here. For example, I can now say that it goes out via USB 1. And the next one goes via... Okay, I didn't actually need to exit there. Via USB 2 out. The third one goes via USB. Here I can also choose the stereo channels. It goes out via USB 3.4. I'll just do that now. I don't need to like that. And that one also goes via USB 3.4 out. And if we now look again in gigperformer, should ideally appear everywhere. Now the first one doesn't appear. That's because the two at the back are 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have laid it out. So you can easily output all tracks or all timbres individually, because we theoretically have 8 individual USB outputs. And the question of why I even thought of this was about the click, whether I can also output the click. I now click up here on the tempo and then see the click signal up here. Now I can also choose the click output down here, can also select USB mono, and now I click on USB 1. And then I just turn it on. And then you see that it comes out on USB 1 So it's super easy to implement. The video is much faster than I expected. If there are any questions about it, feel free to write in the comments. Also, let me know how useful you find it. I actually think it's nice that it works, but when I have the computer with me with a second interface, the question arises, what do I need to send over from my MODX? And now for the application, I just remembered I want to ask my colleague as well. Why? Because the click, if it was even about the click with him, to take the click from the MODX, he could theoretically also take a click in gigperformer. But now you've seen how it works.